again, everybody. It's Mr. Scott, your favorite middle-aged metalhead, here with another episode of the series where we celebrate metal albums that turn 40 years old in the year 2024. And here today, we're talking about the album I guess you could call is the title track to the entire year. It's 1984 from Van Halen. We'll be talking about the album, the songs in the album, and the band in context of the time the album came out. Also, we're going to be checking out one song together, my absolute favorite off the album, Panama. I'll be taking breaks in the video so we can give you guys insight about the songs in the album and so forth. And, wait, what was that?
Gatekeeper.
Oh, how did these people get in here? Dude, what are you doing here? Wait a minute. Are you wearing the same Bursum t-shirt you wore a few months ago when you came in here last time? Seriously, dude, have you actually taken the time to wash that? I'm sorry. Has your mother actually taken the time to wash that thing lately? My God. Wait, what? Slow down. Don't start with the Van Hagar thing, okay? That was funny in 1986 for about an hour, and I'm just as guilty as a lot of people, okay? I made that joke too. But you know what? You need to let it go. And synthesizers, yes. Synthesizers were used. That means they sold out. They did nothing else. Eddie disappointed everybody, of course. Yeah, because Eddie doesn't play any guitar on the album. Nothing he does on the album is fantastic just on guitar, right? Yeah, it's all synthesizer. It's AI, right? Oh, my God. Just go. All right, you said your piece. Just get out. No, you won't see me next month. Where does the universe find them, and why did they send them to me? Now that guy's out of there, and apologies for that one, folks, we're going to get into enjoying this song, Panama, off the album. So what do you say we fire it up and thrill me? Incoming! I forget what movie that's from. David Lee Roth flying through the air. Arena rock at its finest. There's Alex. Let's hear the riff. The pinch harmonics coming in at the end of it. Uh-oh, Dave, you got caught. Look at that microphone. That was always a weird thing to me. Sit down when you're driving. And the Jack Daniels bass for Michael Anthony. What's it called? Low bridge. Hey, people. All right, I did want to pause that right in the middle of Dave's crotch. That wouldn't have been very nice, nor would have been very professional. All right, let's talk about this album here, 1984 from Van Halen. It was released on January 9th of 1984. God, I was 9. Wait, I was 8. 8.5. This many. Yeah, it was 8.5 when this came out. My God. I still remember when that video debuted on MTV, too. More to that a little bit. This was the 6th studio album from the band, and it is the last one to feature this guy right here, David Lee Roth, as the frontman and vocalist for the band. To say this was a commercial success for the band was a major understatement. Reached number 2 on the Billboard 200 chart and produced several singles and hits like Jump, Panama, Hot for Teacher. Those 3 songs all spawned music videos that were in heavy rotation on MTV back in the day. The title in 1984 was a nod to George Orwell's dystopian novel and kind of helped reflect the band's rebellious and edgy style that they always had. Yeah, like I said, I remember back in those days on MTV when they played music videos, there would be this big hype buildup for music video premieres. And I remember my sister, I think, trying to find a videotape, the good old VHS days. Back in the old days, we put the VHS in there and put the tape in there and hit the record button, and we took their things down on the videotape there and we watched them all the time. That's how we did it back then, and we liked it. Yeah, that's what it was back then. Simpler time, to say the least. Back into it. In the background, right there, Valerie Bertinelli, the then wife of Eddie Van Halen. You know, how long this took me to realize that's all Dave? Eddie Van Halen, speak to us. And then slow it down. We'll pause there. We're about to get in the start. The song starts really building back up here at this point. But now let's take some time to talk about the songs on this album. The album starts off with the title track, 1984, all done on synthesizer. Eddie Van Halen put it all together there. It's about a minute long, and it was really against the grain for this band to kind of do that because they were known as a very guitar-orientated hard rock, arena rock band. And then they wanted to start incorporating this new sound into their music. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sure, back then, a lot of the purists, a lot of the GKs out there, they just like, no, this is not how it should be. It should be always like the first album and just keep repeating that formula. No, that's not what an artist does. But they wanted to keep drawing his musicians, and so did Eddie. So he had already mastered the guitar. Let's break into the keyboard and see what we can do with that. So that's what the 1984 track does. Then we get into the rock and the energetic and catchy track Jump, of course, the big hit single off the album, featuring a very signature synthesizer riff, and of course David Lee Roth's dynamic vocals. This song sets the tone, as many of these albums do in 1984, blending elements of hard rock and some pop sensibilities in there too. Then we get to Panama. This, of course, follows with its driving guitar riff and infectious chorus. I mean, you can't help but sing along to that. Panama! You know, showcasing the band's virtuosity and creative prowess as well. Tracks like Drop Dead Legs and Hot for Teacher, they demonstrate the band's versatility with intricate guitar solos and a solid rhythm section. Alex Van Halen on drums, Michael Anthony on bass. A magic combination that kept things moving at a very good pace for Eddie Van Halen to kind of go off in crazy directions. That's why Michael Anthony, as a bass player, we always used to razz on Michael Anthony because he would just ride on that one note all the time. But there was a purpose to it. It made sense for the context of the music they were doing. And all respect in the world to Michael Anthony for doing that. Eddie, of course, his innovative guitar work shines throughout the album, pushing the boundaries of rock music and inspiring generations of musicians all across the board. The song I'll Wait, it's a pseudo-ballad, if you will. It's a slower track, provides a moment of introspection amidst the album's high-energy tracks, showcasing David Lee Roth's emotive vocals and the band's musical maturity. The album starts to close out with the song Girl Gone Bad, which has strong blues rock elements to it, and the song House of Pain, leaving listeners with a sense of exhilaration and satisfaction at the end of it as it fades out. Now, there is one song that I have to talk about. And for the first time doing one of these videos, I have to be honest with you guys, I don't like this song. And it's the song called Top Jimmy. Why don't I like this song? Well, take me too long to explain, but there should be a card popping up over here. So if you click on that card, you're going to go to a video I did a while ago where I listed 10 terrible songs on great albums, and that one's on there. So I ask you, check that video out for a little bit more explanation about why I don't like the song Top Jimmy. But regardless of that fact, the rest of the album, it's magnificent, it's fantastic, and deserves to be, always looked at with respect and a lot of love and admiration from the metal community and the rock community. So let's finish out Panama. Now we're going to start to get that build up there.
Yeah, we're running a little bit hot tonight.
Weird Al Yankovic's brother.
I can barely see the road from the heat coming on.
Watch out, Eddie, it's a hairdryer.
Reach down between my legs,
You're doing what?
ease the seat back.
Oh, okay.
She's running, I'm lying
the pick. And there you have it. Panama from Van Halen. Like I said, favorite song off the album, bar none. 1984, it's a timeless classic, and it continues to captivate audiences with its electrifying sound and memorable melodies. The album innovated blends of rock, pop, hard rock, metal, and solidified Van Halen as one of the best bands of that era, if not of all time. Now, of course, as I mentioned, this would be the last album with Diamond David Lee Roth, at the helm as lead vocalist. A year later, 1985, he would leave the band, quit, be fired, however you want to put it. He would go out to do his own thing and put out a lot of fun material. He did Crazy from the Heat and, of course, Eat 'Em and Smile. Both a lot of fun on those albums, great songs too. And Van Halen continued, when Gatekeeper came in here, they talked about bringing in Sammy Hagar as their lead vocalist from Montrose and his own solo project. And it became Van Hagar, and I'm just as guilty as anybody else who made that joke. But the band still went on to do great stuff. They put out some amazing music. I got to see the band live with Sammy as the lead vocalist back then, and it was still a great performance, great live show. Unfortunately, regardless of all the ups and downs with the relationship between Van Halen and David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony and all this other stuff there, all that stuff needs to be put to the side, because what is important and what we should remember is the fact that we lost a genius. We lost Eddie Van Halen October 6th, 2020. He had been battling cancer for a long time, and ultimately he passed away due to a stroke. I understand his family was with him when he did pass. So, that man gave this world so much. He never claimed to create tapping and pull-offs and harmonic playing and all that stuff, but he definitely helped to cultivate it. And as if going to a mine and coming out with gold and diamonds to shine on the world for generations. And so many musicians, myself included, have learned from him, and a lot of them take that stuff and they go off into amazing different directions. They explore different places nobody ever thought of before. And if there's any other legacy to Van Halen, it's that. So my hat's off to the entire band for this great album, and my hat's off to all of you out there for stopping on in and checking out this episode. This is episode 7 on this channel here. One is coming out every month. I ask you please check out the rest of the videos. They're all in a playlist here on this channel. Go on down in the description, because you'll see information about me, links to social networks, my TeePublic merch store, my Twitch account, and find out how you can join up at this channel and help support me and my endeavors. I thank you all very much for stopping by, my friends. I wish you all the best. Keep those horns high and never stop playing.
It's Mr. Scott. Yo, it's Mr. Scott. You know his ass is hot. Yo, it's Mr. Scott. It's Mr. Scott. Yo, it's Mr. Scott. You know his ass is hot. Yo, it's Mr. Scott. It's Mr. Scott. Let him hang.